Last year, I was driving here in Los Angeles and I saw this billboard. It said 9 out of 10 serial killers grew up drinking milk. More recently, I saw another billboard from the same campaign that said, cow's milk is now the most common fatal food allergy in kids. Is your child next? The billboards obviously did their job at grabbing my attention because I went home later and looked up the website they listed at the bottom. This sent me down a research spiral. Not only are anti-milk campaigns ramping up, but also pro-dairy marketers are pulling sneaky moves to rebrand the Got Milk campaign to influence a new generation that has been turning away from cow milk in favor of dairy-free milk alternatives. So let's break down this pro versus anti-dairy milk campaign battle that is happening in the advertising space right now. Starting back in the 90s with the introduction of one of the most famous ad campaigns in history, the Got Milk campaign. Got Milk's first advertisement aired on October 29th, 1993. This ad featured a historian who ate a peanut butter sandwich and then received a call to answer a radio station's $10,000 trivia question. Because he didn't have milk to wash down his peanut butter, his answer was mumbled and he missed out on the cash prize. In 1995, the Got Milk slogan was licensed to the National Milk Processor Education Program, or in short, Milk PEP, which is the dairy industry's marketing arm. And then this is when we started to see the infamous print ads of people posing with milk mustaches. They'd get celebrities, but they would also feature fictional characters, like SpongeBob and Kermit the Frog. One of Milk PEP's main goals was to improve milk's reputation with children. Research at the time revealed that kids viewed milk as a boring staple in their diet. The milk mustache imagery was designed with the intent of making milk more interesting. In the 30 years since the launch of the campaign, it has been referenced and parodied across all forms of media.
If I didn't already have a job, I think I would have been really good in advertising.
Ross, you did not come up with Got Milk.
Yes, I did. I did. I should have written it down. Got it.
Now let me see your milkshake.
In 2014, Milk PEP chose to replace the Got Milk slogan with Milk Life. But the Got Milk slogan made its comeback following the start of the pandemic, when milk sales sharply increased. In March of 2020, milk sales in the US jumped up 21% compared to the previous year. Even after initial panic buying subsided, milk sales were still up 2% that June. Leading up to the pandemic, dairy milk sales were struggling due to dairy-free alternatives rising in popularity. But Milk PEP took advantage of the spike in sales and revived the Got Milk campaign in hopes of prolonging this boost. But this time, the campaign did a complete rebrand. This is an ad that went public in August 2020. It captures Got Milk's evolved mission to reflect the age of social media. It features grabbed social media clips of people doing silly, amusing, and weird things with milk. Big Dairy is struggling right now because Gen Z isn't drinking dairy milk like previous generations did. A 2022 study done by the consumer market research company Circana found that Gen Z buys 20% less milk than the national average. So this social media driven aspect of the Got Milk rebrand is a clear attempt to reach this younger generation. Another strategy that Milk PEP is leaning into is the rebrand of chocolate milk as a sports drink. They're partnering with athletes such as Olympic medalists and sports influencers to redefine milk's reputation. These milk marketers are tapping into the movement for gender equity in sports, and they've created campaigns around uplifting female athletes. They're also doing other scattered efforts to boost milk's reputation. Back in November of 2023, Milk PEP partnered with Queen Latifah to make a parody-style public service announcement around the trend of milk shaming, which is a trend where people are making fun of other people who love to drink milk. And also in 2023, Aubrey Plaza acted in a Got Milk commercial that mocked plant-based milks. She posed as a co-founder of Wood Milk, which is exactly what it sounds like, milk made out of wood. I guess they were trying to make the point that plant-based milk tastes like wood? I don't know. So anyway, that is a short summary of what the dairy marketing industry has been up to for the last 30 years. In contrast, there's also been a bunch of anti-dairy milk campaigns floating around over the decades. PETA is an organization that is consistently slandering milk in their ads, which we've probably all seen by now, but also other things like the oat milk brand Oatly has ran multiple campaigns under the slogan Ditch Milk, and also last year, ahead of the Indianapolis 500 race, billboards were put up near the venue saying, "Winners don't drink milk," because apparently it's a tradition for the winner of the Indy 500 to chug milk. The billboard was paid for by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a nonprofit advocacy organization endorsing plant-based diets and alternatives to animal research. Circling back to the billboards that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, these have been popping up all over LA and apparently in Atlanta as well. I of course did a deep dive on this campaign, and I found that the website it listed was pretty minimal. It's one singular page, and then they have a bunch of studies linked on it. I did some research into who funded this campaign, and it was launched by Switch for Good, a nonprofit that urges people to go dairy-free. This campaign is based around bringing attention to a 2021 study published in the British Medical Journal, which they list on the Killer Milk website. The study concluded that in school-aged children in the UK, cow's milk is now the most common single cause of fatal anaphylaxis. It states that this pattern has also been noted in North America. Further down on the page, it describes ways that they claim Big Dairy has lied to Americans about milk and has fed the country propaganda about its benefits. So as you can see, Big Milk is in a vicious battle right now with both the plant-based milk industry and also with anti-dairy milk campaigns. And it's only getting more heated as plant-based milk becomes more popular and continues to threaten the dairy industry. I'll wrap this up by sharing a quote from a Bon Appetit article that I read that made me laugh. The article talks about Got Milk's Aubrey Plaza parody Wood Milk ad, and it says, "It's kinda embarrassing to put in that much effort into an ad just to learn that oat's still winning. The dairy industry seems in denial about the state of things, but here's the truth. Gen Z probably would, in fact, want to try Wood Milk."